get back to some sense of normalcy. Thank you guys for braving the virus and the nice weather outside and coming out. A couple things that I want to run by you before we get started here. The servers will continue to bring the desserts that aren't out yet, and they'll continue to refill your coffee and tea, water, whatever you need for the next little bit. But before we get underway, turn this off, please. Or at least turn it to the silent position. I can't tell you how many shows have been ruined by the... so welcome to tonight's production of On Air 1940s Radio Hour. I want to give you a little backstory about how we got to this night, because I'm just really excited about it. We are back in the spring when everything shut down and the quarantine began, and all of the kids had to go to schooling online, and we were trying to figure that out. One of the biggest losses that our middle school felt was the loss of our middle school musical. We had this show called Sing Down the Moon. It was a collection of Appalachian folk tales. They were really excited about being in it. I was really excited about getting them on stage, and it just never got around. I mean, it never happened. And it was just a devastating loss for everybody. So I didn't want the same thing to happen today to this show. So I was thinking, how can I make a show that's COVID-proof? And so me and Beth Smith, Beth is our technical director, she's in the back there. So me and Beth Smith got to talking, and we were thinking, what can we do to create a COVID-proof show? And it got me thinking about the radio. And when I was a kid, I grew up listening to shows like Focus on the Family's Adventures in Odyssey, and then I would fall asleep every night listening to some of the old-time classics from the 40s and 50s, things like Suspense and The Shadow, Fibber McGee and Molly. And I was thinking, those are really good stories, and they're kind of lost to time. These kids definitely don't know. When I told these kids, I was like, we're going to do a radio show. They're like, what's that? And it was like, this is TV before there was TV. And sometimes even after there was TV, like this was the entertainment. So they bought into it, and we realized that, if we were able to do something live, then great. But if we were thrown into quarantine and everything shut down again, then we could still do this because we can do it over Zoom. And if kids had to go into quarantine, or if a kid got sick halfway through the rehearsal process, then they could still Zoom in, and we can, things wouldn't stop just because of a pandemic. So that was kind of the goal, was to not only revive this lost art, but also to just have a show to get us back to doing something normal. So that's where this came from. So tonight, you're going to see, you can look at your program, and you're going to see 4 episodes, basically. 2 suspense episodes, 1, My Favorite Husband, and then an Abbott and Costello at the end. Interspersed throughout, there's going to be some commercials that are lifted right out of the golden age of radio. And yeah, that's where that is. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Feel free to laugh, feel free to applause, feel free to cringe in the right way. Feel free to gasp and be nervous and scared and everything. And yeah, just feel free to feel all the emotions that come with listening to the radio. Wanted to give a big shout out first to Chris Cox, who is running our live stream right here. He is the one that has put together everything online. So Barbara, Becky in New Jersey, my cousins are watching up in New Jersey. I want to say a quick shout out. Thank you guys. I know we got family in Ohio, we got families in California, we got families all over the United States, we got families in Knoxville that are watching this show right now, thanks to the magic of Chris Cox and the internet. Also wanted to thank Alan Hancock and Avcode Technology. He came in at the last minute and saved us in some good technical ways. So I wanted to give a big shout out to him. There will be a 10-minute intermission after My Favorite Husband. So just know that the lights will come up and we'll have a quick 10-minute intermission. In the middle of these shows, we're going to try to keep the show kind of sacred, like the actual episode sacred. But during the commercials, if you need a refill on some coffee or water, if you need to sneak out to go to the bathroom, that's a good time to do it, is during the commercials. And then obviously during intermission, that'd be the best time, obviously. And then one thing Two more things I need to say. One of them is, unfortunately, due to the coronavirus, our administration has asked that to ensure the protection of the kids, after the show, that they don't come down into the audience and do all of the congratulatory things that typically happen after a show. We just don't want to risk it right now. So, unfortunately, they will not be allowed to come down. You can give them your congratulations, though, on the table. You'll notice that there are headshots with mats around them, and you can write little notes of congratulations. Great job. Love seeing you this. You terrified me. All of those, little words of encouragement that the kids would love to hear. And if you have anything like flowers or gifts or whatever, you can drop it off at their head shop, and they'll pick it up on their way out the door. The last note before we get started is, in the middle of your table, there's a tip jar. The servers that are walking around serving you guys, they have volunteered their time, and I would love to give back to them a little bit. So if you feel led, drop some money in the tip jar. 100% of that money is going to go to the servers. We, the Fine Arts Department, will not get any of that money. 100% of that will go to the servers. Every March we take an impact trip. The kids go all over the United States. Sometimes they go over the world. Sometimes we stay here in Knoxville. And all of the money that they raise tonight will go to help pay for those impact trips. So that's just a little way that you can say thank you to the servers in general. And I think that's it. Beth, did I forget anything? Okay, awesome. Let's pray, and then we'll get started. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for who you are. Thank you for giving us your Son. Thank you for the gifts and the talents that you give us. Thank you for these kids. Thank you for this space. Thank you, Father, for this audience. I know that the kids are excited to have an audience. That's not me. But Father, above all, our audience is you. So I want tonight to be glorifying to you. And I pray that no matter what happens on this stage tonight, you above all will receive the glory. In Jesus' name, amen. On air.
whole town sleeping. So now starring Miss Hallie Rhodes, here is tonight's suspense play written by Ray Bradbury, The Whole Town Sleeping.
It was a warm summer night in the middle of Illinois country. The little town was deep far away from everything, kept itself wide toward the forest, and a river, and a ravine. In the town, the sidewalks were still scorched, stores were closing, and the streets were turning dark. Screen doors whined and banged their springs, and across the street there was the sound of Grandma Hanlon's swing hammock. On her solitary porch, Lavinia Nebbs, age 37, sat with tingling lemonade in her white fingers, tapping it to her lips, waiting.
Here I am, Lavinia.
Lavinia turned. There was Francine at the bottom of the porch step, dressed in all Snow White, and didn't look 35.
I won't be a minute, dear. I'll just lock the door. All right. Ooh, I do like your dress, dear. Why, thank you, dear. You look so well in that color. I'm afraid I can never wear it. It makes me look so sallow.
No, it doesn't. I'm sure of. Of course, I always loved your white.
Evening, ladies. Good evening, Mrs. Hanlon. Good evening.
Where are you going dressed up all so pretty?
To the Majestic Theater, Mrs. Hanlon. Robert Mitchum's playing in Not as a Stranger.
Oh, you wouldn't catch me out on a night like this. Now I was the lonely one out strangling women. Lock myself in with my gun, and that's what you ladies should do.
I wouldn't worry, Mrs. Hanlon.
Oh, you wouldn't, would you? You don't think Eliza Ramsell's worry? Lock myself in with my gun, and that's what you ladies should do.
So silly woman. Lavinia, you don't believe all that gossip about the lonely one, do you?
A lot of silly old women who haven't got anything better to do than talk.
Well, just the same, Hattie McDullis was killed a month ago, and Roberta Ferry the month before, and now Eliza Ramsell disappearing.
Eliza Ramsell walked off with the traveling man, I bet.
But the others, strangled.
So Francine.
Then they reached the ravine and stood there. Behind them were lichened houses. Ahead, deepness, moistness, fireflies, and dark. The ravine had to be crossed to reach the movies, deep and black as it cut into the hills. Then across a creaking bridge over a stream. Then 113 steps up a steep and bramble bank to the other side. The lady stood there, looking down.
Oh, I'd never walk there alone at night. Never.
Bosh.
Well, you can say bosh. There'd be you alone on that path, not me. Oh, Lavinia, I do wish you didn't live on this side. Don't you get lonely living by yourself?
Old maids love to live alone. Come on, we'll take a shortcut.
I'm afraid the ravine scares
Oh,
me.
come on. Don't be silly, Owl. Hold your head.
Lavinia, cool as mint ice cream, took the other woman's arm and led her down the dark and winding path, into frog sound, cricket warmth, and mosquito delicate silence.
Oh, let's run, Lavinia, please.
No. Why should we?
If she hadn't have turned her head just then, she wouldn't have seen it. But she did turn her head, and it was there, back among a clump of bushes, half hidden, but laid out as if she had put herself there to enjoy the soft stars, lay Eliza Ramsell, her face smooth freckle, her eyes like white marble. Then Francine saw it too, and they stood there on the path, frozen, not believing what they'd seen. The policemen were all around the ravine grass. Lavinia held on tightly to the shuddering Francine. Flashlights darted around the shadows of the ravine. Voices mingled, and the night grew on toward 8:30.
You, didn't move the ladies.
No, how could we? Oh no, we couldn't touch her.
And you didn't see anybody? Hear anything unusual?
No, nothing. It's the lonely one, isn't it? He did it, didn't he?
I couldn't say, ma'am.
We knew her, you know. She was one of our friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's too bad. I'll have one of my men walk you across the ravine.
That won't be necessary. Thank you very much.
Oh, Lavinia.
How long do you?
Then they crossed the ravine, each with their own thoughts.
person before. It's only a little after 8:30. Pick up Helen and then get on to the show.
The show? Oh, you don't mean it, Lavinia.
Of course I do. We've got to forget this. It's not good to remember.
But Eliza back there.
We need to laugh. We need to get this out of our heads.
But she was our friend.
We can't help her. There's no good brooding about it. I'm going to get it out of my head, and you should too. Now, if we hurry, we won't miss too much.
I thought you'd never come. You're an hour late.
Well, Helen, we found Eliza Roselle dead in the ravine.
Eliza? Who found her?
Oh, we don't know.
Did you see her? Was it awful?
Let's not talk about it.
Oh, I really don't think I should go tonight.
Of course we should. It's the last showing today. Besides, the lonely one can't kill 3 ladies all at once. There's safety in numbers. Anyway, it's too soon. The murders come a month separated. Come along, Helen.
Well, I'll grab a sweater. You wait for me. Why didn't you tell her about us finding Eliza?
Why upset her? Time enough tomorrow. I told you we've got to forget this. We're going to the show, and that's it. Enough's enough.
Then the ladies walked around town and stopped at a drugstore, which was a few doors down from the theater. Lavinia bought a quarter's worth of green men's shoes, which a druggist dropped into a sack with a silver shovel.
You were mighty cool this evening, Miss Lavinia. So cool that someone asked after you.
Oh?
Yeah, man, sitting at the counter, he turned to me and says, who's that? Just like that, he said it. Well, that's Lavinia Neves, the prettiest maiden in town, I says. Beautiful, beautiful. Where does she live?
You didn't give her her address, I hope. Oh, you didn't.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have. I didn't give him the exact address, though. I only said over near Park Street, near the ravine, you know, kind of casual. I'm sorry.
What did he look like?
Oh, nothing much, I guess. Wore a dark suit, pale, kind of thin. Probably nothing but a stranger passing through. Well, I'm sorry, Miss Lavinia. Here, no charge for the government.
Don't be silly, Mr. Briggs. Here. Well, I know what we're going to do. We're going straight home, Lavinia. That man asked after you. You're next. You don't want to be dead in that ravine.
It was just a man. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. I think we should all go home. So do I. She's right, Lavinia.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. We've got to go home.
The ladies argued for 5 minutes. Then they went to the theater. Francine and Helen reluctantly. Lavinia, head high, self-possessed, cruel. In the auditorium, they sat in the odor of ancient brass polish, waiting for the second show to begin. And the lights began to fade.
Lavinia. As we came out, a man in the dark followed us. He was thin, and I think he had a pale face. He's behind us now. What man? The man behind us. It's the one Mr. Briggs said was in the drugstore. Behind us now. It's him. I'm calling the manager. Lights, stop the movie. It's a murder. Lights. Oh, it's a murder. Lights.
The drugstore clock said 11:25. The ladies came out of the theater feeling new, and they were laughing at Francine. And Francine was laughing at herself.
You see what a ride can do? And all for nothing. You were running up the aisle screaming lights. Honestly, I thought I'd die.
Oh, that poor man.
The theater manager's brother Gracie. Oh, Francie.
Well, I did apologize.
And all for nothing.
We shouldn't have stopped for sodas, though.
Wasn't that a wonderful picture? Will you ever forget?
The midnight streets were clean and empty. Not a car or a truck or a person was in sight. The ladies walked under a flickering neon sign.
Dad. Now you've got to stop this. It's so silly. I promise I'll call the very moment I get back. Now will you? Will you really? I promise. Helen, you make her promise to call too. All right. Good night. Good night. Be careful. Now I'll take you home.
The courthouse clock struck the hour, but the sound went over a town that was empty. Emptier than it had ever been before. Over empty lots and empty lawns the sound went.
10, 11, 12.
I don't suppose it's any use asking you to stay here with me tonight, Lavinia.
There's just no reason for me to.
You've acted so strangely tonight.
I'm just not afraid, that's all. And I'm curious, I suppose. I mean, logically, the lonely one can't be around. Not with the police discovering Eliza's body and all.
Have you ever thought that maybe your subconscious doesn't want you to live any longer?
You and Francine, honestly, Helen.
Well, I just feel so bad. I'll be sitting down to a nice cup of coffee just about the time we reach the ravine. And oh, with that awful bridge in the dark, you will call us the moment you get home. I won't sleep a wink if you don't.
I'll call. Now, good night.
Good night.
Nebs walked down the midnight clean street, down the late summer silence. As she walked, she went past houses with their darkened windows, and in the distance she could hear a dog barking. She thought to herself,
In 5 minutes, I'll be phoning Francine and Helen. They're so silly, like old hens. Oh, old. I'm older than either of them.
Lavinia heard a man's voice whistling away among the trees, and she began to walk a little faster. Then, coming towards her in the dim moonlight, was the man.
Well, look who it is. What did I read about, Miss Nebbs?
Officer Kennedy. Oh, I'm so glad it's you.
You're wrong, Miss Nebbs.
No, I'm just glad it's you.
Well, you know you shouldn't be out right now.
I know, it is late. I've been to the theater.
Come on, better see you home.
I can make it all right. Thank you very much.
The moon's going behind the trees. Be pretty dark.
I'm not afraid of the dark, Mr. Kennedy.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll wait here till you cross, and if you run into any trouble, just give me a holler and I'll come around. And I'll check on you on my way back, okay?
All right, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
As she walked away, she thought,
I won't walk in the ravine with any man. How do I know who the lonely one is? No, thank you.
then the ravine. She stood atop the 113 steps down a steep and bramble bank that led across the creaking bridge, then 100 yards up to the deep black hills to Park Street and home. She thought,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nothing's happened, has it? No one around, is there? Remember that story you told each other when you were children? About the dark man coming into your house and you upstairs in bed? And now he's on the first step coming into your room. Now he's on the second step, the third, the fourth, the fifth step. How you laughed and screamed at the story. Now the horrid man's on the 12th step, opening your door. Now he's standing by your bed. What? Was it? There, on the bridge. A man under the light. No, he's gone. He was waiting there. But it's nothing. Nothing. Can't be. Nothing on the bridge. Fool. That story you told yourself. How silly. Shall I call Officer Kennedy? Did he hear me scream? Did I scream? Maybe I didn't at all. He didn't hear me. Oh, I'll go up and sleep at Helen's tonight. No, don't be silly. It's near home now. Wait. Someone's following me. I take a step, he takes one. Officer Kennedy? Is that you?
Crickets were suddenly silenced. The crickets were listening. The night was listening to her. Then there was a sound. Only a woodchuck, surely. But it was Lavinia Nebbs. It was most certainly the heart of Lavinia Nebbs. And she began to descend the steps faster, faster, run, in a mad way, in a silly way. She heard the surge of the music that pounded at her, rushing, pushing her faster, faster, down into the pit of the ravine.
Only a little way, across the bridge. Just run, don't turn, don't look. If you turn, you will not be able to move. Just run.
Then across the bridge, on the path between the hills, the top of the path, the street. But even with the light, the fear swirled about her, closing in, pressing.
If I get home from this, I'll never go out again alone. I promise. I was a fool. Never again. If you let me get home from this, I will never go out again alone. Please, please, give me time to get inside and lock the door and I'll be safe. The window. Oh. There's nobody there at all. Nobody running after me. No one. How silly. If a man had been running after me, he'd have caught me. I can't run as fast as a man. The only thing I was running from was myself. Oh, but it's nice to be home. Home's the really good, warm, safe place. The only place.
She had just reached her hand out to the light switch when she heard it behind her in the blackness. Just a movement.
Who is it?
In which Miss Hadley Rose starred with Lillian Patty, Taylor Beth Corin, and Jacob Bruckner in tonight's play written by Ray Bradbury, The Whole Town Sleeping. Next week on Suspense, the story of a child's game and a curious warning. We call it 0 Hour. Later on tonight, My Favorite Husband brings comedy to the BCX Radio Network. Stay tuned.
Your teeth look whiter than new.
My teeth are new. My
fights tooth decay. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent. The taste is new, so fresh and clean. That new taste really lasts, it's keen. And while it makes your smile array, it also makes your breath behave. So start going steady right away with Pepsodent. Get some today. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent. Pepsodent, Pepsodent.
This was me 5 years ago, and if I confess, it's still me. I've been a waste watcher from way back. That's enough for today. Time for a lively lift.
Ice cold Coca-Cola, and there's no waistline word with Coke, you know. Actually, this individually sized bottle of Coke has no more calories than half a grapefruit.
And another thing, the cold, crisp taste of Coke is so satisfying, it keeps me from eating something else that might really add those pounds. Coke's a natural blending of pure food flavors. I guess that's why everyone loves the satisfying feeling they get from drinking not too sweet Coca-Cola. And remember, Coke is low in calories too.
Hey now, don't you get any thinner? There are times every day as you work or you play, the pause be welcome to you. And it's said that you'll find a bright thought in your mind that only a Coke will do. 10 million times a day, at home, at work, or on the way, there's nothing like a Coca-Cola, nothing like a Coke. All day long, they don't shine. She's a part of simply line. She's making this dream work and it's rosy. Their river keeps stronger, comes sabotage. Sitting up there on the fuselage, got little nothing more than a little rosy. The river is their boyfriend Charlie. Charlie's a Marine. Rosie's protecting Charlie. Working overtime on the ribbon machine. When they gave her a production E, she was as proud as a girl could be. There's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie. There's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie. The riveter.
Yes, it's the Happy Family series starring Faith Porter and Franklin Whaley as Liz and George Cooper, two people who live together and like it. As we look up on the Coopers tonight, we find them in the living room. George's annual vacation comes up soon, and they're discussing the last-minute details of the trip they have planned.
George, I have a surprise for you.
Packed already. Our trip isn't for 2 days.
Well, I'm being sensible this year. No more last-minute packing.
Sure hope you don't try to
Oh,
take
stop.
everything.
I know what you're going to say. We're only going to be gone a week, so you don't have to take everything you own. Well, I just packed the bare essentials.
Good.
And I managed to squeeze everything into 5 suitcases.
5 suitcases for 2 people?
No, for 1 people. I haven't packed your stuff yet.
Great.
Oh, I just can't wait for you to see my new bathing suit, George.
You didn't buy one of those fancy ones, did you? One of those strapless
I
suits?
said, no, of course not.
That's relief.
Mine's more of a simple strap.
Take it right back to the store.
Ooh.
Anyone who
to the beach and watch the lunatics.
That's different. Now, Liz, I don't know about you.
All right. I'll take it back to the store and get one that has sleeves and bloomers.
Now, even that would look better.
Thank you, Max Sennett. George, why don't you trust my judgment? I bought a very conservative suit. You'll see when we get up there.
All right.
Now, I'll have your clothes tomorrow.
What, Ian? You've used all the suitcases.
I'll figure something out.
Don't worry about it. I'll just use a bandana and carry it on a stick over my shoulder.
Well, I'll make room. I'll make room, nature boy. Let's see, what else do I have to do? Leave a note for the mailman, stop the paper. Oh, did you get Fred to water the lawn while we're gone?
No, darn it, you can't do it.
Well, who can we get? It'll be ruined if we let it go.
How about one of the neighbors?
George, I'm ashamed to admit it, but we don't know any of our neighbors well enough to ask them for a favor.
What about the Stones right next door? You know her, don't you?
Oh, I see her every once in a while. When I'm hanging my laundry out to dry and she's lighting her incinerator.
It's best not to get mixed up with neighbors. It would only lead us to trouble.
Oh, I don't think we get into trouble being friends with Frank and Mary Stone.
Frank and Mary? How do you know their first names?
Well, the mailman left a postcard at our house by mistake one day.
You didn't look at it, did you?
Just the address.
You read the message?
Oh, of course not.
Are you sure?
Certainly I'm sure. What's to me if Mrs. Stone's mother had a lumbago attack at Lake Tahoe?
Liz, I'm disappointed.
So was I. I didn't learn a thing. Come on, let's go and ask the neighbors if they'll water our lawn while we're gone, huh?
Let's let the sleeping dogs lie, Liz.
Oh, don't be like that. You want to be a good neighbor, don't you? It's the decent thing to do. And besides, I've always wanted to see what the inside of our house looks like.
Frank, why are you looking out the window?
I'm watching the Coopers, Mary. They're acting so odd.
What are they doing?
Well, they've been standing in the front of our house for 5 minutes. She keeps pointing towards the door, and he keeps pulling back.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're awfully old to be playing tug of war. Uh-oh, she must have won. They're coming up the walk. Now, you didn't do anything silly like ask them over, did you?
Now, Frank, they're coming over, so let's be nice to them. We should have made friends with them a long time ago.
Mary getting friendly with the neighbors, only leash.
They're on the porch.
Crap!
Now hush, I'll let them in.
Hello, Mrs. Stone. I hope you don't mind our dropping in like this.
Oh, look, Frank, it's the Coopers!
Well, what a nice surprise.
Come in!
You know, we've always meant to come and see you, but something's always come up.
We understand.
We have been shamefully long in welcoming you to the neighborhood now. How long have you lived here?
7 years.
Well, it's high time we get acquainted. Living next door all that time, and we don't know a thing about you, do we, George? George, don't just stand there. Say something.
How's your mother's lumbago?
I just had to open your big mouth. The mailman left a postcard at our house by mistake one day.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like to watch some television?
Oh, do you have a television set?
Yes. I guess everyone in this town has one. What kind do you buy?
Well, we don't have one yet.
You don't?
Well,
Oh, we don't miss it. I crawl in the washing machine and sing, and George watches me through a little window.
Oh, I'd like to see your set stone. I've been thinking of buying us one.
well, it's in the next room. Come on.
My, your television set is a big one. What program is that on now?
I haven't turned it on yet. You're looking out the window. Now wait till you see the set warm up. You'll really see something. Ah, is that a picture?
I was just going to ask you.
Wait, I'll adjust it. Ah, isn't that the clearest picture you ever saw?
I can't tell. Why don't those two guys move out the way?
Well, the wrestling.
Say, just like being everything inside.
Oh, who wants to watch wrestling?
Yes, put something else on, Frank.
Okay, I'll try Channel 8.
Say, another wrestling match.
Oh, goody.
Let me try Channel 12.
Oh dear, there's wrestling on that station too.
Aren't there any programs that women like?
Let me try Channel 13. Ah, there's a show you girls should like.
This is more like it. Lady wrestlers.
You know, Mrs. Cooper, they have other programs besides wrestling.
Oh?
Yes, sometimes they have boxing and baseball.
Goody. Pickle juice.
No, this picture seems to be distorted. This has never happened before.
You'd better turn it off, Frank.
Okay, I'll have someone come look at it tomorrow.
No, just probably needs some adjustment. Why don't we take a look at her now?
George, get that I can fix it look out of your eye.
Quiet, Liz.
Frank, if you value that set, don't let George touch it. He doesn't know a thing about electricity.
Hey, your wife's the same as mine, name, George. Why don't the women give us credit for knowing something?
Yeah, I don't know why you talk like that, Liz. I fixed the toaster, didn't I? You know, the one that popped the toast up too hard?
Oh, yes. You fixed it all right. It doesn't pop the toast up anymore. It leaves it on the table and jumps away from it.
Well, how do we get started, Frank?
Well, let's get to the back of the set and see where the trouble is.
Here's a screwdriver.
Okay, now you unscrew the screw where it says caution extremely high voltage, and I unscrew the screw where it says the back of the set should be removed by a qualified television repairman only.
And so we say aloha to the television set.
So there we are, the back's off.
Yeah, just as I thought.
What?
Lots of wires in there.
What deduction?
Okay, now Frank, you stand in the back of the set while I look at this screen and tell you what to adjust. I'll just turn the set on so I see the
Mary,
sofa here.
are you sure Frank's insurance is paid up? I wish you wouldn't do that, Frank.
Yes, dear. How are you looking, George?
Take that wire on the left.
There.
No, the wire on the right.
There. Anything happening?
No, just take one in each hand and then try to wiggle them.
And so we say aloha to Frank Stone.
He's gone! There's nothing left but his glasses!
Where are you?
I'm here. I'm on the chandelier.
You aren't either, where are you?
I'm out in the hall.
Well, what's the big idea, Frank? Why'd you run out when George almost had it working?
Had it! Look at this set. It's ruined. What am I supposed to do with this box of burned wreckage?
If I were you, I'd take it to a qualified television repairman.
This is all your fault, George Cooper, you silly numbskull! Don't you call George a silly numbskull, you stupid baboon!
Don't you call her a stupid baboon, you meddlesome busybody?
Don't call her a meddlesome busybody, you big jerk!
Shall we go around again?
I knew we shouldn't have gotten caught up with some nosy neighbors. Now you get out of here.
We were just going. Come on, Liz. I hope you're satisfied you and your good neighbor policy.
You're going to court for this, Cooper. I'm suing you for the price of my television set.
Gosh, someone will never appreciate that. Try to help him save a few bucks on a television repair bill. He goes and sues us.
Oh, wait a minute, George, we forgot something.
Well, what is it now?
We forgot to ask you. We're going on vacation next weekend. We were wondering if you'd water our lawn while we're gone?
It's the next morning, and Liz is worried over Mr. Stone's threat to sue George for ruining his television set. They're talking it over at breakfast.
Oh, George, I'm worried. We've never been sued before.
Well, let it be a lesson to you not to get mixed up with neighbors. Don't worry, that big bag of wind isn't going to sue us.
Well, that's not what Mrs. Stone told Katie.
What do you mean?
That big bag of wind is suing us for $500. $300 for the television set and $100 apiece for each eyebrow he lost.
Each eyebrow?
Yes, didn't you notice they were singed off?
Well, I saw him in the lawn this morning. He had his eyebrows.
They're falsies.
Great. Well, he's not really going to sue.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes? Yes, Katie?
I don't mean to bother you, but there's a strange man in our front yard. Look out the window.
Uh-oh, George, it's a process server.
Now, there you go, jumping to conclusions. What reason do you have to believe he's a process server?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's up in a tree looking at us through binoculars.
Where? He is a process server. But if you're served that us today, we'd have to be in court next week. And there goes our vacation.
No, we can't let this happen.
Oh dear, he's coming to the front door.
Tell him we're not home, Katie.
Well, that seems like cheating.
Look, we'll face the music when we get back from vacation. We're to face court on Banks time.
All right. All right, Katie, go ahead.
Well, what do I say?
Tell them we've left. We're spending a fortnight in the Catskills. Come on, George, let's hide. door, Katie. Who is it?
It's only me, the Western Union boy.
That's the same guy. He didn't even disguise his voice. What do you want?
I have a telegram here from Mr. and Mrs. George Catskills.
Sorry, they're spending a fortnight in the Coopers.
Well, I'll never outsmart these folks, but I won't give up and go away. I know you're in there, Mrs. Cooper, and I'll get you if it takes me all year.
Oh, fine. Our vacation is going to be 2 glorious weeks out in the front hall.
Okay, you look through the window and see what he's doing.
No, he'll see you. I'll peek through the keyhole.
Now, don't open the doorknob with your head.
All right, right. Uh-huh.
You see anything?
Yeah.
What?
Another eye looking back at me.
Fine.
Oh, I know, Katie. Get me a fountain pen and I'll squirt him in the eye.
Stop it, Liz.
Oh, you want to see that eye, George? It's a mean, evil little pig eye.
Katie, you peek through the keyhole. If you still see him, you know he's still there. I'll be in listening through the back.
Oh, you're so smart, George.
Let's be quiet.
He's still there. I can see that awful looking eye.
Right, let's go.
Back from the Catskills already?
Darn it!
Here's a pretty blue summons for you. I'll see you in municipal court on Monday at 9 a.m.
Oh, well, what a dirty trick. Tell me, how can you be here at the back door and looking through the keyhole at the front door at the same time?
Oh, it ain't easy. I taped a mirror over the keyhole. That eye you was looking at was young.
Shake hands with Pig Eye Cooper. Oh, George, you're being silly. Why don't you get a lawyer?
I don't need a lawyer. I can handle my own defenses.
George, you and I both know you did ruin Frank Stone's television set.
Great. I'm witness is turning state's evidence
No,
against
no,
me.
I'm not. I'll say anything you want me to say.
Just want you to tell the court what happened in your own words. Here.
What's this?
Well, I've written it out for you to memorize.
Well, let's see what my own words look like. Ladies and gentlemen, on the night of June 16th, 1949, at approximately 7:35 p.m., my husband George and I paid a friendly call on our neighbors. Wait a minute, George, what's this next part? Flutter eyelids at jury?
Well, I wrote in some directions for you.
Oh, yes, here I sob quietly, and further down I sneer at Frank Stone.
Now remember, these directions are just as important as the testimony itself.
Uh-huh.
I want you to memorize them just as carefully.
Oh, I will, George, and I'll put on my long lashes. They have a wonderful flutter. Kicks up a breeze.
Order! Order in the court!
Got everything straight, Liz?
Don't worry, George, I memorized the whole thing.
The court will now hear the case of Stone versus Cooper. Who is the attorney for the plaintiff?
Magda is my own attorney.
Oh,
Your Honor.
copycat!
Please! You said you're acting as your own attorney?
Did you hear the judge's voice? He's an instant dislike to Frank Stone.
Well, alright. Y'all ready, Frank?
All said Harry.
He doesn't hold grudges long, does he?
That's my luck, friends.
Proceed. Call your witness.
Thank you. I'd like to call my only witness, me. Is Frank Stone present? Yes, sir. Take the stand. Okay. Where do you live? Oh, come on, man, where do you live?
You're confusing the witness. You better sit down and rest your case a minute, Frank. Counsel for the defense, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor. And as my first witness, I'd like to call Mrs. George Cooper.
Take the stand, Mrs. Cooper.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you swear to the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you? Well, do you?
Do I what?
Didn't you hear me?
Oh, yes, I heard you.
What did I say?
You said, and I don't know if I did or not.
Silence! I said, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Well, why did you say it like that?
I don't know. That's the way they say it in the movies. Now do you?
I do.
Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mrs. Cooper, please tell the jury what what happened in your own words.
Well, on the night of June 16th, 1949, at approximately 7:35 p.m., my husband George and I paid...
Oh, it was in the evening then.
Yes.
Proceed.
Where was I?
You and your husband, George.
Oh, yes. My husband George and I... On the night of June 16th, 1949, at approximately 7:35 p.m., my husband George and I paid a friendly call on our neighbors, the Stones. We had only been in the house a few minutes when Mr. Stone insisted we watch television, Flutter Islands at Jury.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute. What's this about Flutter Islands at Jury?
Nothing, Your Honor. She's just a little nervous. What's the matter with you?
I can't help it. That's the way I memorized it.
Well, once you've got your signal straight, we can continue.
Where was I?
You had just gone over to your neighbors, the Stones, Flutter Islands at Jury.
We had come over to the Stones to watch television. On the night of June 16th, 1949,
You already told us that. Start from where you left off.
What comes next, George?
Mr. Stone begged George.
I object. He knows the story better than she does.
Oh, you keep quiet!
Mr. Stone begged George to help him with the set, and George said, "Please do not force me to do this, as I am not a qualified television repairman." In spite of this, Mr. Stone insisted, pull skirt over both knees and wink. No,
I object.
You leave her alone! Young lady, I will give you one more chance to tell this court what actually happened. Start from where you left off.
Yes, Your Honor. On the night of June 16th, 1949...
You already told us that!
George is confusing me.
Kindly address your remarks to the bench.
Well, it was like this bench.
Quiet, quiet! This is the most confusing case I have ever heard. All of you, step into my chambers. I have a television set there where we can recreate what actually happened. There's the set.
Say, that's just like ours.
All right, show me what happened.
Well, first we took the back off, like this.
Yes, yes, then what?
Well, then he told me to go to the back.
Too
Quiet,
much.
Quiet! One at a time, please.
Oh, they're too excited, Judge. I'll show you what happened. Now, you be Frank Stone and I'll be George.
All right.
Now, get in the back of the set and take a hold of that wire to your left.
Nothing happens.
Now take a hold of that wire to your right in your other hand.
Okay. Still nothing happens.
See?
I don't think you have much of a case here, Stone.
Well, that isn't the way it happened at all.
It isn't?
It is too. Well, with one little exception. The set was turned on like this. And so we say aloha to the judge's eyebrows and reluctantly set sail for city jail. Thank you for tuning in to BCX Radio, bringing you the best thrills and laughs on the air. We will return after this brief intermission. We hope you have enjoyed the delicious creations from BCX's own Mrs. Julie Burrs for Julie's Cafe. We will return with a thriller titled 0 Hour, starring Miss Meredith Irick. Stay tuned. So now starring Miss Meredith Arick, here is tonight's suspense play written by Ray Bradbury, 0 Hour. What a game. Such excitement they hadn't known in years. Mink talked earnestly to someone near the rosebush, though no one was there. And now the two little girls laughing, shouting at each other. Such fun, such tremendous joy. Mink ran into the house all dirt and sweat. For her few years, she was loud and strong and definite. And her mother, Mrs. Morris, peeling vegetables by the sink, watched with amusement as her daughter threw into a sack old pots and pans and tools which were relegated to child's play.
My goodness, Nick, what's going on?
Oh, the most exciting game ever, just ever.
Oh.
It's already take these, Mom.
Oh, just don't dip them, and it's all right.
We won't dip them. Bye.
Oh, what's the name of the game you're playing, dear?
Invasion.
Invasion.
Invasion. And now a serious concentration in the garden. Mink with an assortment of pots, pans, wrenches, forks, and spoons. And her friend Anna, a little younger, tongue-in-teeth, taking notes on her pad.
This, and this.
9, 4, 7, 8 in the pens.
9, 4, 7, 8, and B and X.
A 4 and a string. Hexagonal?
Fork and a string and a hexagonal. What did it say next, Mr. Dunn?
And now Mink, talking to the rosebush again, and receiving some kind of answer in which she relayed to Anna.
Triangle. How do you spell that?
Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. Now write B.
I haven't got triangle yet.
Well, hurry up. 0 hours by 5 o'clock. We haven't got all day.
Then time out from Invasion for lunch. Mink bolted down the soup and coincidentally crammed a sandwich into her mouth.
Now you slow down, Mink. Whatever's waiting would and a minute more.
I can't. Drill's waiting for me.
Drill? That's a peculiar name. Is he a new boy in the neighborhood, dear?
He's new, all right.
Well, I don't believe I've ever seen him. Which one is Drill?
Oh, he's just around. He'll make fun. Everybody does. All the kids do.
Well, I don't think that's very nice. Is Drill shy?
Yes, in a way. I don't know. I've got to go now, Mom. I'll see you later.
Now you finish your milk, miss. What is this about this game that you're so excited about?
Martians invading Earth are up there.
Oh, I see. Drill's a Martian, huh?
I don't know. Yes, in a way. I've got to go now, Mom.
I should imagine he's had a hard time getting here.
So you said there's Drill's. Drill said there's a game and it's complicated.
If it's so complicated, then where is he hiding?
They think if our parents are so busy they never look at rose bushes and our lawns. So he,
Is that where Drill is now, under the rose bush?
with all his friends too. There's something about kids under 11 with imagination. It's funny to hear girl talk.
I should think so. Well, you better run along outside. Baths tonight, school tomorrow, you know.
Drill says I don't have to take any more baths.
Oh, he does he?
And I can stay with them till 10 o'clock.
Well, your friend, Mr. Drill, had better mind his P's and Q's or else...
That's just it. Drill says you're dangerous because you don't believe in Martians. Just like you think Drill's a kid. Well, he's not. And we're gonna run the world today. And I might even be queen.
Well, that's nice, dear. Now run along.
Mom,
Yes, dear?
when the invasion comes, we'll have to get rid of you again. But I'll make sure I won't hurt very much.
Well, thanks. Thanks a lot. Hello?
Hello, Mary.
Helen, how nice. Are you in town?
Oh, no, I'm in Danbury. I was just thinking of you and thought I'd call.
Oh, you shouldn't, though. It's long distance.
Oh, I could afford 3 minutes. How's Henry?
Fine. And Bill?
Oh, just fine. What about me?
Oh, noisier than ever. She's got a new game now, set in the place of hopscotch. Invasion.
Should play that too.
Well, yes. Are yours?
Same thing. Some sort of geometric jacks, I suppose. Isn't it a screen? You know, all the kids there are playing it up here. Timmy's got a crush on some guy named Drill. I think that's what it is.
It must be a new password. Mink likes him too.
Oh, I didn't know it got to New York. Word of mouth, I suppose. You know kids. Funniest thing, I got a letter from my sister in Boston. She says her kids are playing it too. Just in the country.
Well, I wonder where they all learned it.
Oh, don't ask me. All I know is what Timmy tells me at lunch. 0 hours at 5 o'clock.
When?
Today. That's when the invasion's gonna be. Oh, these kids and their imaginations. They talk a little more.
School girlfriends. Casual woman talk. But Mrs. Morris was thoughtful. She was thinking of other things. Of adults. Children with imagination. Rose bushes, dimensions. She thought about how much she had forgotten about being a child. She wondered about Mink and all of the other children who were in that moment playing Invasion. Well, thank you again for calling.
Give my love to Henry, and a kiss for me.
And to Bill and the kids.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye. An hour drowsed by. It was 3 o'clock. There was an occasional hum inside the coolness of the house as a car passed outside. The street was lined with good, green, and peaceful trees, and all across the city, in other gardens, in other places, children under 11 were excitedly playing a game, talking to rose bushes, trees, shrubs, even children in apartment houses high in the air, conferring with potted plants, cactus, and ivy. Mrs. Morris finished her housework and went into the kitchen. Oh, yes, dear?
Can I have a glass of water?
Of course, I'll get it.
Pi r squared, a over 56 in centigrade, x t sine a.
What was that?
Huh?
Here you are.
Thanks.
So, how are things going?
Huh?
The invasion.
Oh, that.
Yes, that.
When everything's ready, we should be ready on time.
5 o'clock?
Uh-huh. How'd you know?
Helen called me from Danbury. Apparently Timmy's playing it too.
Hey, that's keen, man.
I guess all the kids are now, aren't they?
No, not all of them. Not guys like Jimmy Wood and Bob Wilson. They were growing up to make fun of us. You'd think they'd know better. They were little only a couple of years ago. Joel says we can get rid of them first. We'll kill them first.
Mink! I don't like that kind of talk at all. Do you hear me?
Oh, Mom, it's not that bad.
Now listen! If you continue on like that, you'll send Anna home, and you'll stay in your bedroom until dinner.
I'm sorry.
I should think so.
Thanks for the water, Mom.
Mink,
Yes, Mom?
what do those numbers mean?
What numbers?
Those numbers you were saying to yourself before.
Oh, they're just things we have to do to get Daryl's friends to come out. That's all.
Listen, why don't you and Anna run down to the drugstore and buy yourself some ice cream? You don't even have to use your allowance. I'll pay for it.
I haven't got time now, Mom. I'll see you later.
Well, I never believe I'd hear you say that.
Gotta go now, Mom.
Wait a minute, Mink. I want you to tell me the truth about this invasion silliness.
It isn't silly! It's just a game. We're just playing Invasion. I've gotta go now.
It was a game called Invasion. Mrs. Morris's little girl, Mink, was playing it, and so was Mink's friend, Anna, and all of the other children under 11. It was a game called Invasion, and 0 hour was to be at 5 o'clock. Mrs. Morris was disturbed. She wasn't sure why, but there was something. Something about adults shutting their ears and eyes as to what was happening. And because she was disturbed, she did something she didn't usually do. She called her husband at the office.
Hello, dear.
Oh, hello, Henry. I'm sorry to disturb you, but Miss Maxon said you weren't busy.
Oh, not too. I should be able to get home early tonight. Everything all right?
Yes.
You all right?
I'm fine.
Mink?
She's... Oh, Henry.
What?
It's nothing, really.
Listen, are you sure you're all right?
Oh, yes, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit, that's all. Nothing wrong with that.
Mink been getting on your nerves?
Not really.
Well, you tell her to behave, or when I get home, she and I are going to have a talk. As a matter of fact, she's been getting fresh with me recently, and I don't think it's good.
She's fine. She's playing outside.
Honey, is something wrong?
No, nothing. I was just thinking about you and Mink and me. I'll let you get back to your work now.
All right.
Oh, what time do you think you're going to be getting home?
Oh, about 5. Maybe a little sooner.
5? Oh.
Hey, what? Come on, what is it?
It's nothing. I'll see you tonight.
You are okay, aren't you?
Yes, I'm fine. Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
Another hour passed. It was 4:30. The day began to wane. The sun lowered in a peaceful blue sky, and shadows lengthened across the green lawn. Outside, it was quiet. The two little girls, more intense than ever upon their endless movement of design and pattern with the implements before them. Mrs. Morris watched them from the window, and she had never known Mink to have such powers of concentration. She turned on the radio, sat drinking a cup of coffee, and turned over her books. Children. Love and hate side by side. Sometimes children love you, hate you, all in half a second. Strange children. Do they ever forget or forgive the whippings or the cold, hard words of command? How can you forget or forgive those over and above you? Oh! Hello, dear.
Are we going to miss a lead pipe and a hammer?
I don't know. There might be in the garage. What do you need them for?
We just need them.
Well, can I help? Or I could...
I've got
Well, is something wrong?
Joel's stuck halfway, and if we get him through all the way through, it'll be easier. Then all the others can come through after him.
Well, are you sure there's nothing I can do? Well, you better finish early, okay? I want you to take your bath before your father gets home.
All right.
Now, Mink, he's coming early, and Mink! Mink had disappeared behind the shrubs. Mrs. Morris knew it was ridiculous to make an issue of it. Besides, what was the issue? Invasion? Drill? 0 hour? Unaccountably, a cool breeze came up, and although normally for that time of year would have been a relief, but Mrs. Morris felt a chill. She closed the window. Time passed. A curious waiting silence came upon the street, deepening. Then, from the living room, Mrs. Morris heard. 5 o'clock. 0 hour. It had come. But now it had gone. But was the clock right? Mrs. Morris, knowing how foolish it was, knowing it, went to the phone and dialed. Silly. It's silly.
When you hear the tone, the time will be exactly 4:54 and 20 seconds.
4:54 and 20 seconds. Mrs. Morris knew it wasn't as silly as she thought because it wasn't 5 o'clock yet. Not 0 hour yet. Then she heard the car drive up into the driveway.
Hi, Mink. How's it going? Hi, Anna.
Hi, Daddy. Fine.
You have a kiss for your old man?
Have a good time now, Daddy.
Oh, well, that's a nice thing. What are you doing?
We're playing Invasion.
Oh, swell. Your mother in the house?
Uh-huh.
Okay, be good.
I will. 0 hours by 5 o'clock, Daddy.
Okay, I'll be ready.
Mrs. Morris heard him chuckle, and then his steps up the sidewalk to the front door.
Mary?
I'm in the living room, dear.
Oh, hi. Our daughter didn't have time for a kiss. How about you?
Hard day?
Not particularly.
Would you like a cocktail?
You read my mind.
Martini?
Perfect. Anything interesting happened today?
No. Oh, Helen called me from Danbury. I told her she was crazy, but she just felt like calling.
Crazy. Sort of like you calling me at the office this afternoon, huh? Hey, what was all that about?
I told you, I just wanted to talk, that's all. Nothing.
Hey, incidentally, what's this new game the kids are playing? Invasion? That's a nice depressing thought. Is she alright? Come to think of it, she looks kind of funny.
She's fine. What's the time?
Oh, a couple after 5. Why?
No, the clock's wrong by your watch.
Oh, I've got 2 minutes too, but I'm probably slow. You got something on the stove?
No, I just wondered.
Hey, honey, look at me. Is something wrong?
No, I'm just a little tired, that's all. Upset.
You want to go out for dinner?
No, I gotta stay here.
Has Mink been up to something?
No, she's playing outside. She's fine.
Then what is it?
It's nothing, it's silly, that's all. It's, what was that?
What was what?
I thought I heard something. I must have imagined it.
Hey, you are jumpy. Why don't you have a drink? It'll do you some good.
No, I don't want one. What's the time? What time is it?
Mary, what is this? I just told you the time. Something's wrong and I want to know.
No, I'm upset. That's all.
Mary.
I am. I'm on edge. That's all it is, really.
What's that?
I don't know.
Those kids haven't got anything dangerous out there, have they? I noticed a lot of junk lying around.
I thought it was a game. You told me to put off the invasion until tomorrow. It's after 5 o'clock. You have to get her. Please come get her.
What the devil? It's coming from outside. I better take a look. Mink? Mink? Oh! Good Lord! Bombs. Bombs are bombing!
It's coming from upstairs. It's from in the attic.
All of her confused, not a little frightened. She seemed to know something. Her mind had worked that quick. Any excuse to get him away from the outside, to get him up to the attic in time. Outside there were explosions and they could hear the children screaming with delight.
What's wrong with you? Why'd you throw that key away? For heaven's sakes, the kid's out there! Do you want me to kill him? This one, I don't even know how the devil I can get out. Where's that light? Who's gonna answer the telephone? There's that noise again. Mary, what's going on? You know something? Now tell me. Stop it, Mary! Stop it! Something's wrong. You tell me. Someone's down. Tell me. What is this?
Between his wife's terror and the electric humming from below, Mr. Morris felt a great fear. They trembled together in silence. Mr. and Mrs. Morris, parents of the little girl. And they heard steps coming up the attic stairs. And a voice. A clear, cold light became visible under the door crack. The strange odor and alien sound of eagerness in Mink's voice was almost more than they could bear. Each wanted to scream. And another sound. And the attic log melted. Mink with bright little eyes, tousled hair, here inside, and behind her, tall, blue shadow, frightful shadow. Suspense. Miss Meredith Hardwick starred with Emma Newbeck, Emma Burris, and Jacob Ruffler in tonight's presentation of Ray Bradbury's 0 Hour. Next up, a comedy based on the confusing names of the baseball league.
industry in action. Gonna take me a press, gonna take me some steel, gonna take my 2 hands and build an automobile. How many dreams can you make in an hour? A minute? Just ask the people of Ford. But good women and a woman and a look alive. When do you see this baby try? What makes an engine go? Is it a spark, copper wiring, tubing? Or infinite carrying and experience from men and women coming together to bring metals alive?
Turn her out, Joe. Turn her out, Henry. Put her together and watch her go.
Heads up, she's coming down. 2 months ago, 3 tons of unmined ore. Today, a designer's dream come to life.
Put a brand new body in a brand new frame. Tighten her up and give it a name. Call it a Ford.
It's a proud name. Proud in tradition, proud in service. Swift and mighty in action. I took me a press, I took me some steel, I took my 2 hands and built an automobile. I built a Ford, I built a Ford.
I'm off to New York with you. You know, Bucky Harris, the ex-manager. Get me a job as coach for as long as you're on the team.
Well, look, Gab, if you're going to be the coach, you must know all the players.
All right, and I certainly do.
Well, I don't know who's on the team, so go ahead and tell me.
I'll tell you, but as strange as it may seem, they give these ball players nowadays very peculiar names.
You mean funny names?
Pet names like Dizzy Dean.
And his brother Daffy.
Daffy Dean.
Their French cousin.
French.
Gouffet.
Gouffet Dean. Gouffet. I see. Well, let's see. We have on the bags. We have who's on first, what's on second, now who's on third.
Well, that is what I'm trying to find out.
I said, who's on first, what's on second, now who's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
And you're going to be the coach, too.
Yes.
You don't know the fellas' names?
Well, I should.
Well, who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fella's name.
Who?
The guy on first?
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who is playing first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yes.
Look, you got a first baseman?
Certainly.
Who's playing first?
That's right.
And we pay off the first baseman every month. Who gets the money?
Every dollar of
The guy that gets the money.
it. Yes.
Who gets the money on first base?
Yes.
And who comes and collects it?
Sometimes his wife comes out and picks it up.
Whose wife?
Yes. And what's wrong with that?
Oh, look, all I want to find out is when you sign with the first baseman, how does he sign his name to the contract?
Who?
The guy.
Who?
How does he sign it?
That's how he signs it.
Who?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what the guy's name on first base.
No, what is on second base?
I'm asking you what's on second.
Who is on first?
One base at a time.
There's a players around.
I'm not changing nobody.
Take it easy, buddy.
All I'm asking you is who is on first base.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
What's the guy's name on first base?
So what is on second base?
I ask you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
Oh, he's on third. We're not talking about him. Now let's get back to first.
Now how can I get the third base?
Well, you mentioned his name.
If I mentioned the third baseman's name, who did I say is playing third?
No, who is playing first?
What's on first?
No, wait, no, what is on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
Now there I go again, back again to third. We'll just stay on third and pick and stay there.
All right, what do you want to know?
Who's playing third base?
Why do you insist on putting who on third base?
What am I putting on third?
No, what is on second?
You don't want who on second?
So who was on first?
I don't know. Third base. Look, you got outfield.
Sure.
Left fielder's name.
Why?
I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I thought I'd tell you.
Then who's playing left field?
No, who was playing first?
I'm not. Stay out of infield. I want to know the guy's name on left field.
No, what is on second?
I ask you who's on second.
No, who was on first?
I don't know third base. The left fielder's name?
Why?
Because.
No, he's center field.
Look, I don't know.
Well, that's the fellow's name.
Look. You got a picture.
Sure.
The pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
Don't want to tell me today.
Well, I'll tell you then.
Well, go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
At what time tomorrow you're going to tell me who's pitching?
Now listen, who is not pitching?
I break your arm if you tell me who's on first. I want to know the pitcher's name.
What is on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
Got a catcher?
Certainly.
Catcher's name.
Today.
And tomorrow's pitching.
Now you've got it.
All I got is a couple days on the team. You know, I'm a catcher too.
So they don't.
You're behind the plate, do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's pitching my team, and a heavy hitter gets up.
Yes.
Now the heavy hitter bunts the ball. He bunts the ball. Me, being a good catcher, I want to throw the guy out on first base. Now who do I throw it to?
Now that's the first thing you said right. You throw the ball to who?
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to do.
Just throw the ball to first base?
Yes.
Now who's got it?
Naturally.
Look, if I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to get it. Now who has it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
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 You get the ball and throw it to naturally.
No, you throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's different.
That's what I said.
You're not saying that.
Throw the ball to naturally.
No, you throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
Well, look, you asked me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Now you ask me.
I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's the same as you.
You just changed them around.
Same as you. I throw the ball to who? Whoever drops the ball, the guy runs to second. Who picks the ball and throws it to what? What throws it to? I don't know. And I don't know. Throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play.
Yes.
And Another guy gets up. It's a long fly ball because why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn.
Oh, what?
Said, give a darn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
Thank you for joining us to BCX Radio. We hope you enjoyed tonight's performances. Tune in next week for another exciting adventure. Good night.
First of all, Riker and Olivia Ruckles right there. Also, a special thank you to Ryan Davis, their dad. Harper Pratt, wherever Harper is, I can see a Harper Pratt back there on the ukulele. And Cooper Hayes also back there, dressed up in Also, another special thanks to Kim Rundles, who's the house manager there. She is back there. Julie Burris, wherever you are, she's the one that provided all of the food. Beth Smith on the sound. You guys, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Have